If you haven't already, time to roll up those sleeves and get to work in the dirt. Tony Vaught with Evergreen of Johnson City back in studio. Been a long time, my man. Welcome back.
We decided, what, about a year and a half or something since you and I.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course, Sydney in here normally. Well, let's start with Petunias today. We'll walk it back a week and then wrap that up.
Last segment I did, we talked about petunias. The only reason I mentioned it because it segues into what I'm going to talk about today, and that is another summer flower called Impatiens. We talked about petunias and their progression from the traditional ones that are cheap, much less expensive, been around a long time, but yet to deadhead them and the disadvantages of them, and how it progressed to the wave petunias, which are, you don't have to deadhead them and they're much easier to grow and grow much bigger, to this one called a bubblegum petunia. Is really common, real popular right now. It's a Supertunia. And the reason I mention these now is I want the same kind of concept for Impatiens, because the flowers Impatiens have been around a long time, and they've been improved a lot over the last decade or so as well. These Impatiens that literally been around since I'm 60, and they've been around every year I've ever remembered. You know, the big thing is they need lots of shade. They can't tolerate any sun at all. But the benefit is they're very inexpensive, but it's shade. But they're very low maintenance. But they just bloom all the way to the first frost of fall. So, but again, the disadvantage is they're limited to shade, and I'm giving it all away, I know here now. On this side are a group of Impatiens that around the early 90s, they improved, they call them New Guinea Impatiens. Yes, they were gathered originally, discovered, and brought over and hybridized from this island of New Guinea, up above Australia.
Yes. And
so they improved it, and the main advantage of those, you can see these, how much larger the blooms are and more bicolor blooms, and they can take about half a day sun. Like all morning sun, they thrive on it. Whereas the traditional ones, they would just pretty much croak.
Yeah, and have to have shade.
Yes.
And we see kind of where we're going here.
Absolutely. And you can even see this one by the stem, how much bigger, how much stronger these are. I mean, they're just rough plants. These are much more frail. But again, they serve their purpose. But you're right. But now we're going to the other side of the counter, and there's another group, probably about 10, 12 years ago, I think, called Sun Patiens. Okay. Yes, sun. They thrive the sun. They're Impatiens that love the hot, full sun. Now, so now you have the advantages of Impatiens, but regardless of where you want them to grow. Now, a couple of tips. When you're any Impatiens, I brought a little watering nozzle to remind me, it's better to let them tell you when they need water. Let them wilt before you water them. Now, many plants, if you did that, they don't recover very well. But Impatiens, they do a lot better if you wait. They'll bloom a lot better if you let them wilt before you water them. Otherwise, they just grow. And fertilizer, use something that has a really high middle number. Don't over-fertilize them with that big high first number nitrogen, because then they'll just grow and they won't bloom. They won't bloom.
I don't want that.
So keep them dry. Fertilize them with middle number high.
All right, great information, versatility when it comes to Impatiens. Tony, thank you very much. We'll be right back.